Hi TikTok, Pete Cossaboon here, and I haven't been live in a minute, so I thought I would. I'm feeling a little bit more like being seen lately. That's been kind of a thing for me. I think 2025 was definitely a thing of not really wanting to be seen, and so I was trying to think of what I could really do. And I think what I would like to do is I would like to read from a book that I wrote that's on my Amazon page. If you look in my bio, you can see a link to my page. This has been a crazy year of just writing so much, and this particular book is I called The Way of Everyday Mindfulness. Looks like it's backwards in the camera. That's weird. And it's basically, it really goes over the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk who's well known for establishing what's called the Plum Village in Vietnam. So I think I'm just going to read some of it. Let's see how far we can get, and I hope this means something to you. It does for me as well. If you go to my Substack, Thank God I'm Queer. I actually have the entire thing, the entire audio chapter by chapter in there. Now just disclaimer, the audio that is on the Substack is AI generated, and that is part of because I just wasn't really ready to be seen in 2025. But I'm really feeling like it's time for me to really do that, to really be seen in some way. So I'm just going to read from this book, and I hope this means something to you. And so here we go. So it's called The Way of Everyday Mindfulness, and it's dedicated to Forthay, whose gentle steps on this earth taught us that peace is not a distant shore, but the ground beneath our feet. May these pages carry forward your breath, your smile, and your boundless compassion. Love, peace, release, which is something that the angels really had me just ending things with, and that just means something to me. I put a quote in here is of walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet, and that's from Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Peace in Every Step. Peace is every step. And Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, oh gosh, I think like 100 books or something like that. So I invite you absolutely to look at Thich Nhat Hanh's library of books that he wrote to see something that might work for you or something that might be important for you. In memoriam, on January 22nd, 2022, the world bid farewell to Thich Nhat Hanh, or known as Thay, who passed away peacefully at Tit Hue Temple in Hue, Vietnam, hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. The monastery where he first entered as a novice monk. He was 95 years old. Wow. Poet, peace activist, Zen master, and global voice for compassion, he showed the world that enlightenment is not found in distant places, but in the simple act of breathing, walking, and smiling. His teachings continue through the Plum Village community in France and sister sanghas around the world. To this day, his students call him Thay, teacher, with reverence, gratitude, and love. This series is offered in remembrance and continuation, a living tribute to his vision of mindfulness, peace, and interbeing. Our true home is the present moment. If we really live in the moment, our worries and hardships will disappear, and we will discover life with its miracles. That was written by Thich Nhat Hanh, that part. And for 2025, and this is a side that's not in the book, my word for 2025 was presence. It's about just being present all the time. And it's amazing how in this Western world, being present can be such a hard thing to do. It really has to become a habit, like a focus and intention that you have, because our attention is just drawn in so many different directions all the time. And so being actually fully 100% present in your moment is such a place of power, because our power is where our presence is. And so where our intention is, where our focus is, where our awareness is. And so we can truly only be fully effective and fully powerful in the moment if we are present in the moment. And believe it or not, that can be harder. At least it was hard for me. I can speak from my experience. So this first section is called Entering the Present. The first chapter, The Call to Be Here. The invitation of the present. To begin any journey of mindfulness, we must first pause and hear the invitation that life is always offering. Be here. This simple call is easy to overlook, drowned out by the rushing pace of the world, the weight of our regrets, and the allure of our plans. Yet Thich Nhat Hanh, affectionately called Thay by his students, reminded us again and again that this invitation is the heart of practice. He taught that the energy of mindfulness is the energy of being present. When body and mind unite through something as simple as breathing or walking, we step out of the prisons of past and future and return to our true home. Quote, "Our true home is the present moment," he wrote, explaining that only here do we discover the miracles of life. The blue sky, the song of a bird, the warmth of tea in our hands, or the simple nearness of a loved one. This is not merely a poetic idea. It is a radical reorientation of how we live. In Peace is Every Step, they explain that freedom is the basic condition for touching life, and that freedom is not something bestowed upon us by politics or circumstances. It is born in the moment when we awaken to now. Why we run from the present? If the present moment is so rich in healing, why do we resist it? They observe that most people spend their lives caught in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. We relive old wounds, repeating the story of how someone hurt us or how we failed ourselves. Or we chase after dreams, believing happiness will come only when certain conditions fall into place. This endless running makes us strangers to the moment in which life actually happens. He described it plainly. Quote, "Many people are lost in worries about the future and regrets about the past. They are caught up in their projects and fantasies, and their minds are not connected to their bodies." End quote. In this running, even our sleep is not rest. We dream of problems, chase after solutions, and wake exhausted. This tendency is not unique to modern life. The Buddha himself saw the same restless movement of mind. Over 2,500 years ago, he taught, "The past is gone, the future is not yet here. There's only one moment in which life is available, and that is the present moment." They echoed this timeless insight, "Not yet here. There's only one moment in which life is available, and that is the present moment." They echoed this timeless insight, warning that consequences are profound. Families sit together at meals, yet each person stares into a device or drifts into thought. Lovers walk hand in hand, yet remain far apart, absorbed in personal worries. Parents cradle their children, but think only of work. We are everywhere except where we are. In this state of dispersion, we do not truly live. The miracle of returning. To come back to the present is the essence of mindfulness. It is not about striving for some distant enlightenment. It is about stepping back into what has always been waiting for us. They called this the miracle of mindfulness, that awareness can transform even the simplest action into sacred encounter. He often used vivid examples. Washing dishes becomes an active presence when we feel the warmth of the water and breathe calmly with each moment. Eating an orange becomes communion with the whole cosmos when we notice the sunlight, rain, and soil that gave it life. Walking across a courtyard becomes a prayer when we place each foot gently on the earth, as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. This miracle arises because mindfulness restores wholeness to our dispersed mind. Mindfulness is the miracle that can restore wholeness to our dispersed mind, calling it back so we can live fully each moment of life, he wrote in the Miracle of Mindfulness. When we breathe with awareness, mind returns to the body, and suddenly we are alive again. He even described this as a kind of resurrection. Freedom in the now. One of Thay's most radical teachings is that freedom is available now. We do not need to wait for wealth, power, or perfect circumstances. The moment we choose to be present, we free ourselves from the chains of regret and fear. He explained that mindfulness is our first real chance at freedom. The Chinese character for mindfulness, I don't know how to pronounce this, combines now and heart, literally meaning the act of experiencing the present moment with your heart. This is not intellectual analysis, it is a heartfelt participation in life as it is. In The Miracle of Mindfulness, he reminded us, quote, "Life is available only in the present moment. If you are distracted, if your mind is not there with your body, then you miss your appointment with life," end quote. The urgency in those words cannot be missed. Every day, every hour, every breath is an invitation to freedom. Yet most of us defer it endlessly. We wait for retirement, for the children to grow up, for the right partner, for the right job. In doing so, we postpone being alive at all. They flipped this logic. The practice is not a means to an end. The practice itself is the destination. Quote, "The practice itself is the very joy and peace we are seeking. The practice is the destination," end quote, he said. To sit quietly and breathe, to smile to ourselves, to walk mindfully, this is not preparation for living, it is living. The present as vast and eternal. Another layer of this teaching is that the present is not merely a fleeting instant. It contains all of time. They explain, quote, "The present moment contains every moment. Here we can touch our ancestors, our children, and their children, even if they haven't been born yet," end quote. This insight, which resonates with both Buddhist thought and modern physics, reveals that past and future are not separate realities but dimensions folded into the now. Our ancestors live in our blood, our gestures, our habits. Our descendants are present in the seeds of our actions. By being present, we hold all of time within us. This transforms how we think of responsibility. To be mindful in this moment is to honor those who came before us and to shape the conditions for those who will come after. In this way, mindfulness becomes both personal healing and collective responsibility. Why we resist the now. Despite its beauty, many resist the present because it often contains discomfort. When we stop running, we are forced to feel anger, or grief, anger, loneliness, or fear. They acknowledge this honestly. Quote, "The energy of mindfulness helps give us the ability we need to recognize and embrace our difficult emotions and not let ourselves be overwhelmed by them," end quote. This is why the present sometimes feels threatening. We sense that if we slow down, our suffering will rise. But he taught that running from suffering only deepens it. To stop and breathe allows us to cradle pain as a mother holds her child. Only in this embrace does healing begin. Others resist because of craving. When we long strongly for something not here, we abandon the treasures at hand. Quote, "When we long for something very strongly, when we crave something very strongly, we lose the present moment. We lose ourselves and all the wonders of life available in the present moment," end quote, he warned. Mindfulness breaks those patterns by offering a new relationship to suffering and desire. Instead of fleeing or feeding them, we simply notice, breathe, and remain present. Over time, craving loosens and suffering transforms. Choosing presence. Ultimately, the call to be here is a choice. They described it as training. Quote, "Aware that life is available only in the present moment, we are committed to training ourselves to live deeply each moment of daily life," end quote. This choice is not dramatic, it is small and steady. Each time we put down our phone to notice a sky, each time we take one conscious breath, each time we return to our body, we are answering the call. Over time, these moments accumulate into a life lived awake. The rewards are profound. As he reminded us, quote, "We can live happily in the present moment simply by remembering that we already have more than enough conditions to be happy," end quote. The present moment is not barren. It is overflowing. By opening our eyes, ears, and hearts, we find that the miracle we were searching for has always been here. Living the call. The first step on this journey, then, is not mastering a complex meditation technique or retreating into silence. It is hearing the call and answering it with one breath, one step, one smile. It is remembering, as they said, that the quote, "The day you've been waiting for is today. The moment that you've been waiting for is this very moment," end quote. This call is timeless, yet it becomes urgent when we realize how easily a lifetime slips away in running. The practice of mindfulness is not just about stress relief or self-care. It is about reclaiming our one wild and precious life before it passes unnoticed. To walk mindfully is to come home. To breathe mindfully is to return to ourselves. To dwell in the present moment is to live freely, lovingly, and awake. The call to be here is always sounding. The only question is whether we will pause, listen, and respond. So that's the end of the first chapter. As you can hear, my voice is getting a little bit hoarse. It's just not used to speaking that much. I really appreciate anybody that has joined. I hope that it has meant something to you. I'll probably keep this up and try to go ahead and finish this book over time with these lives. If it's meant something to you, amazing. If you go into my bio, if you are interested, you can look and see this and other books that I've written. I've written quite a few. I might talk about my book writing journey, which has been a wild ride. If you'd like to hear the entire thing, audio. Now, knowing that it is AI generated, that version, it's available both on my Substack at Thank God I'm Queer, and also on my YouTube page, which is I just changed the name of it to gosh, I can't remember. Oh gosh, if you go to @PeteCossaboon on YouTube, you'll find it. So I can't remember. I just changed the name of it, so I can't. My brain right now is not remembering what I called it. So I hope this has been meaningful for you. It's been a lot of fun for me. I'm proud of myself for doing this. I've been thinking about doing it for a minute. This was big for me because in 2025 I really have not shown up as live really anywhere. I've been using my AI generated voice and things, and I just decided that I just didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to actually show up myself. I mean, the AI generated, they were my words, but it wasn't, and it was my voice generated, but at the same time it wasn't really me being present, and that's what this book was all about, right? So anyway, here I am being present. I hope that you can all learn to be present in your lives. I truly know that at 62, our presence is our power. Wherever we are giving our attention and our focus to is what is receiving our power. So making sure that whatever receiving our power is worthy of all of our divine powers that we have resident within ourselves. I'm hoping you have an amazing evening. Wishing the angels to be with you. Wishing for all great things to be for you. And mainly I'm wishing for you to recognize that all things are working for your good. And sometimes, and everything is a gift, but sometimes the wrapping paper smells like crap. So just keep that in mind. Just keep looking for the present that is in your present. Until later, love, peace, and release.